This week on Hermitcraft.
I know, why don't we kick things off with a little bit of kinetic damage? Perfect!
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and all good things must come to an end. We're pretty sure this season of Hermitcraft has been a good thing, so it makes sense that while some hermits are determined to push the season as far as it'll go, others are choosing to bow out, with the mostly unspoken assumption that Season 8 will probably show up in the next few weeks, as long as Caves and Cliffs Update Part 1 does the same, which is why you'll see a push towards tidying up projects and making them look nice for the now traditional world download. It's been a roller coaster of a season, although it would probably prefer if you referred to it as a shopping experience. But we aren't ready to get off this ride quite yet, so while the coaster is still rolling, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Joe Hills, who runs Wild on the Wilderness around Cleo's zoo project, figuring it needs tidying up after all the tree clearing and mob moving they've done in the area. But at this point we see Polish rub up against the prospect of erasing some of the server's history, so Joe decides to leave in some elements like the minecart track he used to transport a Ravager.
We placed some polished blocks to make some cool support. We placed some walls because, I guess maybe more?
The cave back at his base gets a similar rewilding treatment, terraforming the edges of the rocky area with grass and leaves, although he's still not sure what to do with one portion of it. A bedroom suggests itself, but he's naturally hesitant to lay his head down and dream in a place he's nicknamed the Nightmare Corner.
XPcraft had started ripping out things here because he knew it was bad, but he didn't know how to fix it, I guess. Or maybe I rushed him by insisting on putting that Ever Given model in up here. This is arguably my fault, not XPcraft's.
In case you never knew what liminal space is, Google suggests it's a transitional space between other spaces, and right next to that definition, you'll see False Symmetry's latest video.
I'm terrible at completing things. You guys get to the comments. Let me know what you're like in Minecraft. Do you complete things fully, 110% when you leave the project? Or do you sometimes, leave things going too?
In trying to conclude her base's many unfinished facets, False fills in the train stations, tunnels, and in-betweens of her Cybertown, the cyborg advances of which just make her incredibly advanced cow farm just that much funnier.
Yes, this is where we're at episode 76 of the series.
Stress Monster returns to her base a while after it was re-exchanged with Impulse, although she's still not sure if she wants to take down his trademark bandana. Instead, she makes some plans on a live stream and maps out the foundation of a stylish panda sanctuary for the precious brown panda she's named Mrs. Deeds.
Here is the first building, at least the front of the building.
Transporting this VIP, very important panda, over to the compound by rail, she raises some facades for a kind of marketplace in the surrounding area. One thing's for sure, whichever end of Mrs. Deeds you're looking at, you can tell she likes it.
There's a smiley face on her bum.
It's moving day for Vintage Beef as well, as he gathers up all his worldly possessions, and some otherworldly ones if you count the piano keyboard made of ghast heads, and makes ready to move out of the hacienda now it's been purchased by Corrales. Little does Corrales know that Beef already has a destination in mind, and he meets up with the current owner of the hacienda courtyard, a Mr. E. Thoslab, to figure out a rental agreement.
Sure.
Yeah, so there you go. I gave you a diamond already, and it hasn't even been a week. That's honor, if you ask me.
You feeling okay, Beef?
I'm doing great. What's the problem?
No, it just seems weird. It's like I bought it for a diamond, and now you're renting it for a diamond.
Yeah, I know. It makes sense to me, and that's really all that matters.
So, finding this bizarre and quite literal loophole in selling his house to Corrales, Beef just moves all his stuff inward, squeezing his belongings and furniture into the central courtyard. At least it's got running water. Following the success of their SOS Africa fundraising stream, a handful of hermits have swapped skins for an episode, which is why Rendog comes to us in the form of Muscle Scar. And if that wasn't enough of a flex, he's been doing a metric ton of work on the city of Tatooine, filling in the buildings and streets with sandstone dwellings and lamppost robots.
Before we head out of the base is absolutely breathtakingly amazing, and can we just get some support for Ren for this, because he built like almost all of this overnight in the valley section with the, the cantina, the towers, and all that stuff. It was wonderful to see this come to life.
In between the desert structures and charity marathons, he's also been getting technical with the storage system, now with Emperor throwing action.
And of course, this is supposed to emulate the vent in the Death Star where Palpatine gets thrown down in Star Wars. And this is exactly how this thing is going to work. If we want to store items, we're going to chuck them down the vent, just like Palpatine plummeted to his doom.
His mirror image, Good Ren with Scar, labours to complete the big free shop, which was left built, yet empty. As the interior is built and the shelves are filled in, Scar states clearly that everything present will be given away for no cost, which by Grian's logic makes the free shop more of a minigame than HCBBS is.
Rip that. We will get to it, but I am super happy with this interior, and it really does feel like a big city, small hardware store just brimming with detail and overflowing shelves on every corner.
So Grian is bald, and also B-dubs. Since the audience charitied them all into swapping the skins around, B00 and Grian resolved this the only way they know how, through a high-velocity interpersonal headbutt.
I called him hideous, he called me gorgeous, and then running at each other extremely quickly until our faces smushed together.
Luckily, the stream also helped him out in finishing the back side of the Wonder House. All that's left now is the detailing missed up until now, so front porch time-lapse it is.
I mean, you're not meant to look at it directly and pick it apart, but when you look at the mansion as a whole, it kind of helps blend it all in down to the bottom.
The HCBBS shulkers are filled in as well, and with that, Grian announces that there's only a couple of videos left before he too will be dropping the curtain. It is more poignant then that he also won every plot he bargained for in Aquatown.
Winner Grian, Winter Grian, Winner Green, Winner Grain, Winner Brian. Oh, XB entered the chat.
Not knowing what to do with the real estate, Grian sticks them into the HCBBS prize pool, and it's all too funny then that Scar makes it a point to ride the tunnel in his own video. Tonight, the part of Old Grian will be played by B00, which is surprisingly apt considering that his Season 7 series is also retiring. Having done all he wants to with the season, B-Dubs is taking a little time off making Hermitcraft before the arrival of 117 and presumably Hermitcraft Season 8. First though, he and Good Times with Scar have some business to take care of, specifically the business all those pigs have been leaving around the place.
Yeah?
Pooper Scooper box.
Yes.
Oh
and
no.
So you're going to use the pooper scooper, and you are going to clear out all this smelly poop. You can put a mask on if you want.
Once the Pope has been scoped, they settle up the final scores in the land games, and while we'll let you find out for yourselves who won, it's not entirely unrelated that B-Dubs has to build a bank afterwards. Last of all, he tours his projects from Season 7, giving them all the send-off they deserve, while reassuring us he'll be polishing some of the unfinished areas in time for the world download. Touring his base with a drone-style flyby camera, XB Crafted spends some time answering questions about Hermitcraft, the universe, and everything. If you want some awesome footage of the transformed Savannah while learning more about his philosophy on making Hermitcraft episodes, what his ideal pizza order is, or just where to find more cute pictures of his dog, this is definitely the episode for you.
The main thing I'm looking forward to, or was looking forward to in the 117 update, capes. I wanted capes. So the fact that it's now going to be another, however, God only knows how long, I'm not happy about. So, like, at all. Not even a little bit. Yeah. Am I a morning person or an evening person? I am generally awake on my own. I don't set an alarm at all. Between 5 and 6 a.m. every day.
As we mentioned a week ago, Azuma Void has reached the 1000th episode of his Hermitcraft series and has had many bedrooms through it. It's still a milestone worth watching for yourselves instead of having us recap it at you, so check it out at your own risk. What we didn't know last week is that the episode also concludes with Azuma announcing that this will be the final video of his Season 7, taking a break for whatever liminal space is left in between now and whenever the server resets, presuming it resets at all.
But I kind of feel like I need a break with all that's gone on over the last year, and I need to hit the mental reset button and start tinkering with some new ideas and thoughts that I've had for a future season of Hermitcraft.
While some Hermit series are wrapping up though, others are still in the thick of it. There's work to be done at TFC's tower, where he still needs to work on filtered slices of his storage system, and the tower needs more glass to wrap around its exterior. TFC's trip out to the nearby desert is rudely interrupted by phantoms, but he still gathers enough sand to realise he'd better have something to cook it all with, which necessitates swapping out all his blast furnaces because they don't do glass.
Yeah, I might want to see if I could rearrange the fuel distribution mechanism just a little bit.
The sense of finality is only strengthened as CubFan135 finishes the last minigame meant for the Target section of the pyramid. Fortunately, it is literally a cakewalk. In fact, you won't even have to walk much, because the challenge is to ender pearl at target blocks, triggering them to give you cake mix. At the end, you surrender a finished confectionery and enjoy how low your score is. We suspect the speedrun strat is to hit the item frame holding a cake at the end for the true ending.
3 buckets. And up. Whoops, I accidentally teleported right into the cake thing. There we go.
The completion is cause for celebration enough, and Cub plans to invite all the hermits and viewers for a stream of nothing but competitive target practice this coming Monday. Anyhow, it took Cub over 100 episodes to finally get a bedroom. Located at the tippy top, the room is a black void overhead filled with sparkly nether stars to function as a night sky. The relaxation triangle provides you with an enchantment setup and basic crafting needs too, as well as a stairway to sleepy time.
And yeah, that's sort of accentuated by the soul lanterns on the side. Give a little bit of lighting, but not too much, and it gives sort of like a nice ethereal glow to the whole thing.
And in case you wanted to eject someone into the sparkly void because you saw them vent in electrical, Tango Tech's Among Us in Minecraft game finally gets played by a group of hermits. They have a few meltdowns, the in-game ones, the in-game ones, and emotional ones of course, but the minigame functions well enough and sus was had by all. Unfortunately for us, the release also marks the end of Tango Tech's Season 7, for there are no more games to adapt, and Skulk Sensors will move to later anyway.
Fun. And of course, I cannot wait until Season 8. It's going to be even better, I'm sure. But for now, guys, I am going to focus on my new modded series, where I am playing the Create mod.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. We might see you for an episode next week, as long as we feel like we have enough material to warrant a recap. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see more from us, you can check out our own channels here on YouTube. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and long live Hermitcraft 7.